Nothing you're about to hear ever happened. Not in this world, not in any verifiable timeline, and certainly not in any way a lawyer could confidently point at. If it does resemble something real, that's just the universe having a laugh. Welcome to Human Drift, a place for night minds, tired bodies, and the quiet questions that only rise when the world finally stops shouting. Tonight's drift goes somewhere strange. A house that isn't just a house, a structure that behaves less like architecture and more like a dreaming nervous system. A place with too many rooms, too many memories, and corridors that feel a bit too alive. We won't force meaning on what waits inside. We'll just walk slowly, let the walls breathe, and listen to whatever parts of you. Speak up in the dark. Settle in. The house has been expecting you. The house with many rooms. Fog curls low across a long gravel drive. The house waits, eaves like brows, windows like watching. Somewhere inside, a clock you can't see keeps a tired beat. The kind of beat that measures nothing useful. Not hours, not hope. Just the dull persistence of a heart that hasn't yet figured out it's allowed to stop. I stand at the gate, and the gate does not creak. That should comfort me, but it doesn't. Things that should make noise and don't. Those are the things that wait. The gravel under my boots whispers like a congregation that's forgotten the words but remembers the tune. Stone that sighs and wood that weeps. Secrets wake where silence sleeps. Windows watch and timbers groan. Step inside, but not alone. The house is not large, not by the standards of proper Gothic estates with their turrets and their melodrama, but it feels large. It feels like it has more rooms than walls, more doors than hinges should allow, and a floor plan drawn by someone who kept changing their mind halfway through every hallway. I've been here before. I've always been here. The house is mine, in the way a scar is yours, earned, permanent and tender to the touch. White edges past my leg, tail low, eyes too bright. She looks up at me with that expression she wears when she's trying to convince herself the world is kind. "It's all right," she whispers. And I know she's talking to herself more than me. It's only rooms. Black follows, shoulders square, a line of muscle along his spine, like a ridge of volcanic stone. He doesn't look at her when he speaks. "Keep it down," he mutters. "You sound like a kid whistling in the dark." "I am whistling in the dark," White says, and her voice is small but sharp, like a nail you step on by accident. "Then whistle quieter," Black replies. They are always like this. The two wolves walk with me everywhere, bickering like an old married couple who've forgotten why they got married. But remember every slight since. White wants to believe. Black wants to survive. I'm somewhere in between, holding the leash to both and wondering who's really walking whom. The front door knows me. That's how it feels. A recognition in the tarnished brass. A small shock in the palm when I turn the key, as if the lock remembers my fingerprints from some other life. The hinges sigh, not creak, sigh. The way a body sighs when it's been holding its breath too long and finally gives up pretending. The smell hits first. Old wood and candle soot, and something sweeter, underlayered, like orange peel you forgot in a pocket and found 3 months later, dried to a husk, but still faintly citrus. It's the smell of a house that has been lived in too hard and not loved enough. The entry is narrow. Dust hangs in the air like a constellation. Each mote its own faint star, drifting in the weak light that filters through windows I don't remember opening. The floor is checkered, black and white squares that shift if you stare, then settle, then shift again, as if the tiles themselves can't decide what pattern they're supposed to hold. I don't announce a grand theory. I don't paste labels on doors or pull out a blueprint and say, "Here, this is the map of me." I step in and let the place confess itself. Every house does, if you listen long enough. This one speaks in drafts and stair angles and the way certain boards refuse to hold your weight, as if they've already made up their minds about you. A corridor reaches left, another, right. In front, a staircase narrows upward into shadow. The kind of shadow that doesn't need darkness to exist. It makes its own. I pick neither height nor depth yet. I pick a door that's already ajar, because doors that are already ajar are the ones that want to be opened. They've been waiting. The manager's study. Ink runs dry, yet pages fill. Orders bind, but never still. I count mistakes before they're made. A jail of lists my hand has laid. The room smells like control. Polished mahogany, ink-stained blotter. A thin, bitter scent of lemon polish and ironed shirts, the kind of smell that comes from a life spent pressing creases into things that were never meant to be flat. The desk dominates the room. Not because it's large, but because it insists. Pens are lined like a tiny fence, each one exactly 3 inches from the next. On the wall, 3 calendars with 3 different years circled in red ink. A metronome ticks without a hand to wind it, and I realize with a small, cold shiver that it's been ticking since before I opened the door. There are lists. Thick stacks tied in string, leaning against the wall like exhausted soldiers. Some lines are so heavily crossed out, the paper has fuzzed into a grey smudge. Others are blank, and still whisper pressure, as if the absence of tasks is itself a task left undone. White, soft steps to the chair, and sits primly beside it, as if waiting to be marked present. Her tail curls neatly around her paws. "Useful," she murmurs, and there's something almost reverent in her voice. Someone has to keep the trains on time. Black circles the metronome, ears twitching with every tick. He's not looking at White, but I can feel the argument building in him like steam in a kettle. And who kept the timekeeper alive while you were alphabetizing feelings? He noses the calendar that lists an entire month as busy in block capitals. Every single day, no exceptions, no mercy. He chained himself to these lists and called it virtue. I run my hand along the desk and feel the scores where a nib bit too hard in a hurry. There's a ledger already open, the page titled in careful script, "Mistakes to Prevent." Below it, rows of tidy catastrophes, each one numbered and annotated with a kind of meticulous care, usually reserved for defusing bombs. How to control outcomes, how to anticipate fallout, how to make everyone safe by never letting anything happen the wrong way again. The chair is warm, as if someone just stood up, as if they've been sitting here for years, decades maybe, writing and rewriting the same list, trying to find the perfect order that will finally make the chaos stop. They're both right, I say aloud, and my voice sounds too loud in the ticking quiet. White and black both turn to look at me. And for a moment we are three creatures standing in a room that was built by a fourth. The study is not cruel. It's not a villain. It's trying to stop the roof from caving in by memo. It's trying to hold the world together with string and ink, and the sheer force, if I can just predict it, I can prevent it. But you can't. That's the thing the study never learned. You can't predict your way out of being human. I pocket one page. Not to keep the rules, just to remember who wrote them and why. The metronome ticks on as we leave, and I swear I hear it speed up, just slightly, as if anxious we're leaving it alone. The protector's kitchen, blades that gleam and locks that bar. I strike first, and scar by scar. Heat and hiss my oath defend. No surprise shall make an end. The next door opens to heat, not warmth. Heat. The kind that presses against your skin like a hand you didn't ask for. Counters too high. Knives too many. A stove that purrs with a feline threat. On the back ring, a pot simmers something nameless, skinning and unskinning itself in slow, wet layers. The tiles sweat, the light hums. There's a stainless steel shine to everything that dares your reflection to blink first. A cleaver hangs over a chopping block, its edge nicked with use. Not decorative use, real use. The kind that leaves grooves in wood and memory. Beside it, a row of locks and latches, catalogued and labeled in tidy handwriting that I recognize, angrier. Front door, back door, phone off, curtains drawn, smile practiced. A list taped to the hood reads, "Anticipate attack. Allow no surprise. Strike first if needed. Apologize later, if at all." Black plants his paws, nostrils flexing. He doesn't look away from the cleaver, and something in his posture shifts. Recognition, maybe, or respect. "We did what we had to," he says, and the room agrees with a soft, approving hiss from the stove. He was small once. We learned fast. White's gaze slides toward a low cupboard where light leaks from the crack like a trapped breath. "There's something under there," she whispers, and her voice is thinner now, stretched tight. Not an enemy, a wound. I crouch and set my palm against the cupboard door. It's cool, cooler than it should be in this furnace of a room. Soft, then still, then soft again, like a heartbeat that can't decide if it wants to keep going. I don't open it. Not yet. This room has rules about timing. I can feel them thrumming like the stove's low purr, like the hum of the fluorescent light that never quite settles into steady. Black is right. This room was built by someone who learned early that the world is a place of teeth, and that if you show your belly, the world will gut you. So you don't show your belly. You show knives. You show locks. You show a smile so practiced it could win awards, and behind it, you coil every muscle, waiting. White is right too. There's a wound here. Something small and bleeding that never got to be bandaged because the bandages were all being used to wrap weapons. A timer ticks down to nothing, then beeps once, long and accusing. Nothing explodes. Even so, every muscle in my body waits for a bang that doesn't come. The pot on the back ring goes silent, then resumes, in a different rhythm, as if it was listening, as if it heard the conversation and is now deciding whether we're a threat or just passing through. We leave before the room decides it has to prove a point. The firefighter's rec room, the sacred curse. First kiss burns like holy wine. Second drowns the need for grace. Third becomes the new divine. Fourth erases every face. Smoke that chokes but never clears. I douse the flames, I drown the years. Every bottle fights the burn, ash to ash. I never learn. The door doesn't resist. It knows I'm coming. The knob is warm, fever warm, as if the room beyond has been breathing hard, waiting. The smell hits before the sight. Old beer gone sour, cigarette ash ground into carpet fibers until it became part of the weave. And underneath it all, something sweeter and more rotten. The particular decay of a place where someone came to disappear and succeeded. Night after night, glass after glass, until disappearing became the only skill they had left. The rec room spreads before us like a museum of small surrenders. A pool table slumps in the center. It's felt the green of something that grew in the wrong soil. Torn at one corner where someone slammed a cue in frustration or triumph, impossible to say which. The balls are scattered mid-game, the 8-ball teetering on the edge of a corner pocket, half fallen, half saved, frozen in the moment of almost for what might be decades. The walls sweat, not metaphorically. They actually sweat, a thin sheen of moisture that catches the weak light from a single bulb hanging naked from the ceiling. The bulb swings slightly though there's no breeze, casting shadows that move like they're looking for exits. Behind a makeshift bar, plywood on cinder blocks, the kind of furniture that announces I'm temporary even as it calcifies into permanent. Bottles stand in crooked rows, some empty, some half full, some with just an inch left at the bottom. That last inch nobody ever throws away, because that inch is a promise. That inch says, see, I can stop. I left some. I'm in control. White enters slowly, belly low, as if the room might notice her and take offense. Her nose works overtime, processing layers of scent I can't even begin to pass. She stops at a toppled bar stool, rights it with her nose, then sits beside it like she's waiting for someone who left years ago and might still come back. Black's hackles rise before he's even crossed the threshold. Every instinct in him is screaming trap, danger, teeth in the dark, but he comes in anyway because that's what he does. Walks into the fire because someone has to. Because if he doesn't, who will? His eyes scan constantly. Corners, shadows, the space beneath the pool table where darkness pools like spilled ink. The walls are papered with smoke-stained certificates in cheap frames. Commendations. Bravery awards. A picture of a younger man in turnout gear. Grinning wide, surrounded by his crew, all of them still believing they are immortal, still believing that running into burning buildings is the hardest thing they'll ever have to do. The glass over the photo is cracked diagonally, and someone has tried to tape it from behind, but the tape has yellowed and peeled, curling at the edges, so the crack remains, bisecting that grin like a fault line that's still spreading. And there, half hidden behind the bar's edge, water damaged and curling at the corners, a small photograph tacked to the wall with a single rusted pin. A boy. Maybe 8, maybe 10. Sitting cross-legged on a basement floor, his small hands busy inside a battered tin box, red wires spilling like veins across stone. The photo is so faded, so water-stained, the details have nearly dissolved, but the posture remains. That hunch of concentration, that terrible focus. I approach the bar and my boots stick slightly to the floor. Each step makes a soft tearing sound, like the room doesn't want to let go. The bottles, I count them without meaning to. The way you count headstones in a cemetery you didn't plan to visit, are organized by the logic of someone who still believed organization mattered. Whiskey on the left, vodka in the middle, beer bottles crowding the right like anxious petitioners waiting for an audience. Some labels have been peeled off in strips, methodical, the kind of thing you do with your hands when the rest of you has gone somewhere else. The strips lie curled on the bar top like shed skin. There's a glass, just one, sitting in the center of the bar with 2 fingers of amber liquid, flat and warm, a skin forming on top like a cataract. Beside it, an ashtray overflowing with butts, each one smoked down to the filter, each one squeezed for every molecule of relief it could offer before being discarded. And beside that, a small notebook with water-damaged pages, the cover curling like a hand closing into a fist. I open it carefully, and the spine cracks, releasing a smell of old paper and older regret. The handwriting changes from page to page, neat at first, full of resolve. The letters standing straight, like soldiers ready for inspection, then looser, slanting. Then barely legible, letters collapsing into each other like buildings in an earthquake. Day 1. This time is different. Called the hotline. Have a meeting tomorrow. Day 3. Made it to a meeting. They said sharing helps. I didn't share. Day 7. Couldn't sleep. Just one to take the edge off. Just one. Day 1 again. Day 1 again. Day 1 again. Day 1 again. The phrase repeats, marching down the page, each iteration pressed harder into the paper, until the pen breaks through and the words become just grooves, just wounds in pulp. Then, in letters so shaky they barely hold their shape. This time I mean it. Day. The page tears off there, ripped rather than turned. The edge jagged like broken teeth. White whimpers. It's a sound I've never heard from her. High and thin, like wind through a crack in a window. He was trying, she says, and her voice breaks on the word. He was trying so hard. Look, she nods toward the notebook. He kept trying. That's good, isn't it? It's not good. Black cuts in. But there's no anger in it. Just weariness. Just the flat truth of someone who's lived this. It's the hungry ghost. You know what that is? White shakes her head. Black moves to the bar and stares at the glass with its skin of old whiskey. A hungry ghost, he says quietly, has a mouth the size of a needle and a belly the size of the world. It can never eat enough. It can never drink enough. Every swallow makes the hunger worse. And the worst part. He turns to look at her, and something in his eyes is older than the rest of him, ancient and exhausted. The worst part is the ghost doesn't know it's dead. The room ticks. Not a clock. Nothing so honest. It's the sound of a house settling, or a floor contracting, or the ghost of a timer set years ago and never turned off, counting down to nothing, over and over, forever. I walk behind the bar, and the space back here is tight. Claustrophobic, the kind of space that forces you to make a choice, this side or that side. Drunk or sober, lost or found, alive or something that only looks like it. On a shelf beneath the bar, hidden from view unless you're standing exactly where I'm standing, a firefighter's helmet. Dented. Scorched. The red paint bubbled and blackened in streaks, as if it went through something no helmet should survive. Inside it, tucked like a prayer, like a suicide note, like the last match in a burning house, a full bottle, unopened, label pristine, liquid golden in the weak light. Just in case. A scanner sits on a shelf, its red light blinking like a heartbeat that refuses to stop. It crackles sudden and sharp, making all three of us jump. Engine 7. Medic 3. Structure fire. 2,247 Ashland. Reports of entrapment. Then static. Then nothing. Then, from somewhere deep in the walls, an answering crackle, as if the house itself is trying to respond, trying to say copy or en route, or we're coming. But the words won't form, they just hiss and pop and fade. White moves to the photograph of the boy, with the tin box and the red wires. She stares at it for a long time, tail motionless. That's him, isn't it? She says. Not a question. That's where it started. That's where the ticking started. And he tried to drown it, Black says, looking at the bottles. Tried to drown out the ticking. Swallow after swallow after swallow. Trying to flood the basement so the boy would have to surface. Trying to wash away the memory of those wires and what they meant. Did it work? White asks, and her voice is so small, so desperately hopeful. I look at the notebook with its endless day ones. At the bottles, empty and full, secret and displayed. At the nest of blankets in the corner, where someone curled up and shook and sweated and promised God and themselves and anyone who might be listening that if they could just get through this night, this one night, they'd never touch another drop. At the helmet with the bottle inside, like a loaded gun. at the photograph of a boy who was already building bombs in basements while the house above pretended everything was fine. No, I say. It didn't work. The hungry ghost doesn't drown. It learns to breathe underwater. And the boy... I touch the edge of the photograph. The boy never stops ticking. The scanner crackles again, louder this time. All units, be advised. Working fire, heavy smoke showing, possible flashover, and somewhere beneath us, distant but distinct, that answering sound. Tick, tick, tick. White stands abruptly, her whole body trembling. We should go, can we go now? Black is already at the door, but he pauses, looks back one more time at the pool table with its frozen game, its 8-ball balanced on the edge of everything and nothing. We survived this, he says, and there's wonder in his voice, real wonder, the kind that comes from standing in a graveyard and realizing you're still breathing. We got out. Somehow, not all of us, I say quietly, and I'm looking at the photograph again. The boy, the box, the wires, at the man in the turnout gear with the cracked smile, at the bottles and the blankets, and the notebook full of day ones that never made it to day 2. As we step into the hallway, the scanner crackles one final time. Closer now. So close it could be in the room with us. Could be inside our chests. Mayday, mayday. Firefighter down, we need. Then static. Then silence. Then the soft, wet sound of a bottle opening somewhere in the dark behind us. The seal breaking with that tiny gasp bottles make. That sound that promises relief and delivers only more thirst. Then, underneath it all, patient and persistent and impossible to drown. Tick, tick, tick. We don't look back, but I pocket the photograph of the boy. Because some ghosts you can't outrun. Some ghosts you have to carry. And some bombs tick for decades before anyone admits they're there. The exiles' playroom. Blankets stiff and whale cup worn. Echoes hum where hearts were torn. Drawings taped and silence kept. I am the child who never slept. The carpet is threadbare, where small feet paced a path between cupboard and beanbag. The path is so worn, you can see the wooden floor beneath, like a river that carved its way through stone by sheer repetition. On the beanbag, a cartoon blanket, stiff with old spills. Beside it, a plastic cup with a whale printed on it. The whale's smile scuffed thin by years of small, hopeful fingers. A television. Not the flat kind, the old kind, the belly-fat kind. Sits crooked on a crate. It hums to itself like bees behind plaster. If you stand very still, you can hear the exact pitch of a child trying not to cry. There's no boy here. Not exactly. There are his echoes, the way the beanbag keeps its dent, a pencil snapped in two and carefully aligned as if that could undo it. A drawing taped crooked to the wardrobe, a house with a tiny figure in every window, each face done in 2 strokes, each stroke a circle, each circle empty. White can't help herself. She pads right to the beanbag and rests her head there, muzzle tucked like prayer. Her tail gives one cautious wag before she tucks it tight again. I know you, she breathes. I've been sitting outside this door for years. Black stands in the doorway, fills it. His eyes are everywhere at once. Ceiling crack, window latch, the darkness under the bed. We don't linger, he says, but it lands soft, not a bark. Almost gentle, as if he knows that this room requires a different kind of guarding. I kneel and trace the tape corners on the drawing. The tape sighs loose and clings again, the way memory does when you think you've filed it, but it refuses to stay filed. The house in the drawing has too many windows, far too many, and in every window that same two-stroke face, that same empty circle. I see you, I think, but I don't say it aloud. The room hears anyway. A music box on the shelf coughs half a tune, stops. The tune is something I recognize from a birthday years ago, or maybe a Christmas, or maybe a fever dream. It doesn't matter. The music box is remembered, even if I've spent decades trying not to. Why didn't anyone come for him? White asks, and her voice cracks on the last word. Black doesn't answer. I don't either. Because the answer is that everyone was busy. The manager was making lists. The protector was sharpening knives. And the boy sat here with his whale cup and his cartoon blanket, and learned very carefully how to take up no space at all. White lifts her head, and the beanbag undents slow, as if reluctant to let her go. We leave the television humming. It's safer to let some ghosts hum than to unplug them mid-song. The gallery of mirrors. Choose a face, or face them all. Each a flaw, each doomed to fall. Glass will crack, but truth remains. Reflection binds with phantom chains. It isn't vast. It doesn't need to be. 8 or 9 mirrors, all different frames. Baroque scrollwork that belongs in a museum. School toilet tin that belongs in a nightmare. A gilt oval that remembers hair oil and winter parties where no one had a good time but everyone smiled anyway. Each mirror shows the same man, me, but each version of me is failing differently. In one, too loud, gesturing wildly, the kind of loud that's trying to fill a silence that can't be filled. In another, too soft, shoulders curled inward, a whisper of a person hoping not to be noticed. In a third, ridiculous posture pretending to be confidence, chest out, chin up, every muscle screaming, please believe me. In a fourth, a tightly pleasant grin that would agree to a mortgage he couldn't afford and call it maturity. The air smells faintly of mothballs and perfume. The floorboards creak in the exact rhythm of disapproval. 3 creaks, a pause. 2 creaks, as if the house itself is tutting. White edges sideways, trying to hold 2 or 3 of me in her peripheral vision and love them all at once. Her tail wags nervously, then stops, then wags again, as if she's not sure which version deserves encouragement. Black's lip lifts. I see the flash of teeth. Then he clamps it shut and forces the snarl back down. Self-control is one of his uniforms worn so long it's fused to his skin. Pick one, he says at last, voice low and rough. You can't apologize to a hall. I stand in front of the gilt oval and do nothing. The mirror waits for performance. I don't give it one. I just stand there, looking at the man who learned to grin pleasantly while his hands shook, who learned to agree to things that would break him, because breaking quietly is polite. A tiny crack races from the corner of the frame to the top, a hairline like laughter that didn't get permission. The version of me inside doesn't change, but something about the power does. The reflection is still there, still grinning, but now I can see the crack running through it, and the crack makes it bearable somehow. I touch the crack. It's only glass. It always was. Cute, Black mutters. Very symbolic. Can we leave before this place decides to make us pose for a family portrait? White huffs a soft laugh despite herself. You have no appreciation for the dramatic arc of personal growth. I have appreciation for not getting trapped in a funhouse mirror. Until we starve, we leave. The mirrors stay. Behind us, I hear one of them crack a little further, a soft tink like a fingernail tapping glass. The attic. Skies align though maps may stray. North holds fast though night delays. Hands may falter, eyes may roam, still the compass points you home. The stairs narrow, the air thins. The wood takes on that particular dry scent of old rafters and old paper, the smell of things that have been stored and forgotten and stored again. There's a skylight, and another, and another. Each offers a different sky, bruised purple, clean blue, one with a storm stacked just beyond sight like a bruise waiting to bloom, one with a moth pressed flat on the glass like a pressed thought that never quite finished forming. Wind does not belong in this house, and yet it's here, a thread of fresh air cutting through the dust like a rumor of the outside world. A table waits under the nearest skylight, scattered with maps of a country I recognize by muscle memory, not borders. The maps are annotated in different hands, neat block letters from the manager, frantic pencil from someone who was running out of time, a child's pressing too hard and snapping the lead from someone who didn't yet know how to hold a pencil gently. Some routes are drawn, then erased, then drawn heavier, then erased to holes. The paper is scarred with indecision. White noses a compass that shivers north, 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 like a one-note bird that only knows one song. Does it still work? She asks, and there's something fragile in her voice, like she's asking a bigger question. Of course it works, Black says, but he's staring at the sky that is both storm and not storm, depending which glass you look through. Compasses don't lie. People just don't like where north is self and call this some perfect spiritual arrival. That would be cheap. It would be easy. This isn't easy. It's simpler than that. For one breath, I'm just a man in a room with air that thinks better. I fold one map carefully and slip it inside my jacket. Not as a plan. Not as a promise. Just as proof that north exists whether or not I can see it from a given window. White sits beside the compass and watches it quiver. Black paces the perimeter, checking the corners the way he always does, making sure nothing is waiting in the gaps. And I stand under the skylight that shows the clean blue sky and let the light fall on my face for longer than I probably should. Because this is the room I want to stay in. This is the one that feels like rest. But I know, we all know, that there's one door left. One more descent. And it's not up. It's down. Descent. The door to the basement is painted the same color as the skirting, as if it would prefer to be wall, as if it's hoping you won't notice it at all. The handle is colder than it should be, scratched into the wood raw and jagged, as if by broken nails. Wires red, but veins run cold. Hands are small but grip the old. No face to show, no voice to sing. I build the end of everything. Tick, 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 tick. White presses against my leg. Her whole body is shaking, but she doesn't run. She never runs. That's her tragedy. She stays even when staying hurts. Black moves to the front, shoulders low, eyes sharp. I really don't like this, he mutters. You don't like anything. White whispers. I like things fine. I just don't like this. I turn the handle. It's so cold, it burns. The door opens without a sound, which is worse, somehow, than a creak. Silence is the house's way of saying, I've been expecting you. Every step down changes the smell. Wood to damp to iron to something like old pennies pressed into tongue. The walls sweat, not moisture. Something thicker, something that gleams in the weak light like the house itself is fevered. The bulb at the bottom is a single eye, swinging slow on a frayed cord. It throws moving shadows that make the pillars appear to breathe. And at the far end, half lit by the jittering light, a boy sits cross-legged on the damp floor. He hasn't noticed us. His small shoulders are hunched, his fingers busy inside a battered tin box with curly red wires spilling like veins across the stone. The wires glisten, wet, wrong. From inside the box, tick, 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 tick. White swallows. Because kindness is her curse and her crown, she blurts out a shaky greeting. Hello? Hi there. The boy doesn't look up. His hands keep working, each twist of wire making the box tick louder, sharper, more insistent. We draw closer. I can see his hands now. Too small, child small, but moving with the precision of someone much older. Someone who has done this 1,000 times. Someone who knows exactly what they're building. For a moment I think he'll never notice us, that we're only ghosts passing through his silence, that he's so deep in his work that the living and the dead are the same to him. Then his head tilts, slow, mechanical, like a doll on a broken hinge, just enough to show the pale oval where a face should be, blank, smooth, empty. Not a mask, not something covering a face, just absence. A void shaped like a child. White's ears flatten. She slips behind my leg, and I feel her trembling so hard I think she might shake apart. Black moves forward, every muscle taut, teeth bared. Okay, he says, voice tight. New plan. We leave. Now. But I can't move, because I know this boy. I know him the way you know your own hands in the dark. I know the hunch of his shoulders. I know the way his fingers move, frantic, desperate, trying to fix something that was never his to fix. The boy dips his head again, returning to the wires. The box hums softly, like a secret heart, like something waiting to stop. What's he building? White whispers. I don't answer. Because I know. He's building the end. He's building the bomb that goes off years later, in a kitchen, or a bedroom, or a conversation that was going so well until it wasn't. He's the part that was locked down here because he was too hurt, too angry, too much. And no one knew what to do with him except bury him deep and hope he'd stay quiet. But he didn't stay quiet. He stayed busy. Tick, 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 tick. We hurry past, shadows long and bending. None of us dare another word. Black is in front now, clearing the path, and White is pressed so close to my leg, I nearly trip over her twice. At the end wall, rough stone shows the outline of a door if you glance sideways. A door that doesn't want to be a door. I press my palm flat against it. It's cold, colder than thought, colder than regret. The mortar between the stones gleams damp, as if rebuilt in haste. Above it, scratched letters spell two words I wish I hadn't recognized. Bone Orchard. White whispers, "Please don't make me go in there." Black answers, and his voice is softer than I've ever heard it. "You won't go first." Stay behind my shoulder. I push. The stone yields, sighing like an ancient in-breath, and the door that was never supposed to open again opens anyway. Beyond, not another room. Roots, arches, walls that are not walls but ossuaries, stacked bone on bone, skull on skull, femur on rib, in patterns too deliberate to be random. Catacombs sprawl downward, layered like Rome upon Rome, like sediment, like every version of myself I buried because I didn't know what else to do with them. The house was only the surface skin. Beneath it, the orchard waits, its soil fed by centuries of silence. A hollow hush rises from below, like air not breathed in centuries. And lower, deeper, almost a vibration, not heard, but carried in the bone. The boy behind us keeps ticking. The box keeps humming. And somewhere far below, in the deepest root of the orchard, something else ticks in response. White presses her nose into my hand. What do we do? Black doesn't answer. For once he has no plan, no attack to anticipate, no threat to strike first. I take one step forward, then another. Not because I'm brave, because I'm tired of running. Because the only way out is through, and through means walking into the orchard I planted with my own hands, one burial at a time. Behind us, the faceless boy tilts his head again, listening. The box ticks louder, and from deep in the bone orchard, something ticks back. We descend, together, but not alone. End.